Hello, my name's Claire Williams and welcome to another beta information clip. Today I'd like to talk to you about the body protector standards and their development over the time and how we've reached the body protectors that we have today. It all started back in the mid-1970s when people were realising they needed a bit more protection than was being offered currently. And that's when these very early body protectors were developed. The first one coming out in 1978, which was basically put on your back and stuffed down the back of your jodhpurs. Didn't really offer a lot, but it was more than was offered at the time. These were developed over time until we get to this one in the mid-80s. But there was no consistency and there was certainly no standard that meant that people were getting constant quality of both garment and performance. And that's when beta entered the frame. First of all, the Jockey Club took an interest in it, obviously for racing and particularly for jump jockeys. And beta at the same time got involved with its manufacturers, looking at how they could start setting guidelines for manufacturers to adhere to. And it's when we talk about standards, we talk about performance criteria. So it's like a bit of a recipe. You put all the components together to get an end product, but that end product can differ. And that's why you see on the market so many body protectors that look differently. They all do the same thing, but the recipe or standard is there for the manufacturers to interpret. So the early beta body protectors were divided into two categories, level 5 and level 7, indicated by a coloured label, and that was red and blue. And this is a garment that had the very early red label, which was level 7, which indicated at what height the anvils, which we used to test the garment with, was dropped from. I don't think we'd see anything like that today. If we then read over, as the standard developed, we then saw the first body protectors to the beta, probably more what you're familiar with today, class 1, 2 and 3. And these were using the same or very similar foam to what we use today, PVC nitrile, polyvinyl chloride nitrile foams. They did heat up, but if any of you have a garment, for example, with an orange label, class 2, it definitely belongs in the bin, because if you try and bend the foam is so stiff that it actually no longer has any protective qualities. And that's one of the features of PVC nitrile. It does deteriorate over time. Not as much now as it used to, but in the mid to late 90s, they certainly had a definite lifespan. In the late 90s, when the PPE, which is a personal protective equipment directive, came in, it was realised that we needed a European standard for body protectors, and at that stage beta put their own standard forward, and that in due course became the European standard. And that's indicated by similar labels to what we have today. Black for level 1, which is only suitable for jockeys riding under rules in a race. Level 2, which is the brown label, which you won't see very much of at all, and level 3, which is really the garment that everybody wears, which is for all types of riding. And this used to be indicated by the beta 2000 level 3 label, which you see here. Again, usually put on the outside of the garment. Similar impact force to what we have today, but the same as we have in the 2009 garment. The standard has to be revised every 5 years or so. We don't always stick to time, which is why, if you've ever wondered why we went to beta 2009, that's because it took a 3-year process to revise the standard, and that's what you'll see on your garments today. When we changed the standard from 2000 to 2009, there weren't a lot of changes. One of them was on the beta scheme, which is a quality scheme added onto the European standard, which means that manufacturers must retest their garments once a year to ensure consistency of quality and foam performance. They must also put their labels easily identifiable on the outside of the garment, which is for eventing purposes. And we also introduced coloured markers, which meant that you can always tell when the garment is not going to fit you by, if you can see the coloured markers showing, then it's not right for you. We're currently revising the standard, but that's not going to have any impact on the market for several years yet. When we test garments, we're looking at how well they perform against impact protection, and in another of the beta videos we'll show you how to actually check that your body protector fits you. If you'd like more information on body protectors or indeed safety, please go to the beta website beta-uk.org. Thank you.